Hey guys, Greg here, Bone Tactical. Today I'm going to share with you some tips and tricks that I've learned throughout my travels and adventures about performance clothing and EDC items that we can carry on us every day and really anywhere we go for travel or for really just everyday life that will make life easier, that'll make your life easier, that'll make all of our lives easier. So basically what I am going to share with you is kind of the difference that performance clothing makes and what performance clothing is. So let's start out with that, and then we'll branch a little bit into everyday carry items that are kind of standard items that will also make your life easier that you would necessarily carry on your person, let's say. But like I said, we'll start off with clothing. Now, I personally believe that there's two very major types of categories of performance clothing, and I would consider them to be based for the environment that one's going to be operating in or where you're going to be at, basically. And if you are in a hot weather environment, then you want one particular type of hot weather clothing. And an example that I'm going to use today is this Columbia combat shirt that's hot weather gear. And then there's the same Columbia combat shirt, but this is extreme duty gear. And this is for the other range and spectrum. And I'm considering hot, humid, tropical environments, or anytime then you're going to be in extreme amounts of heavy sun. That's going to be the warm weather clothing is line from Bone Tactical is what we call it. And then what we have as well is the other group is what I'm considering to be heavy foliage, or in an environment where maybe you're a welder, you work with heavy machinery, you're cutting metal like me as a knife maker. I have to group my shop, my workshop, into environment B, where it would be the same as heavy foliage, being out in the woods where there's thorns and briars, or also being in a cold weather environment. And that's where we're going to have what we would consider to be extreme heavy duty clothing. So today I'll discuss a little bit of extreme heavy duty clothing, and then I'll also discuss clothing that will make your life easier in hot weather environments. What you want to look for if you're, and we've learned this recently from a lot of professional fishermen, from guys who spend a lot of time in the sun and in environments, you know, hot weather environments. I'm from Florida, and very popular also in Latin America. We have polyester clothing, so synthetic fibers. What we've done here at Bone Tactical is we've taken it one step farther, and I've developed a type of camouflage that not only looks cool, okay, so it works with gray man theory, because this camouflage doesn't make me look like I'm in the military. It's also, it's not even really fully noticeable as camouflage to everyone. It just maybe just look like the pattern of a shirt to some certain people that don't know about camouflage. But it's an extremely effective camouflage on top of that. The important thing is that you have a base color, right? The first thing is that you have a base color and a base material that's sun blocking. This is protective for protection from the sun, as if I had on sunblock. And what all I have to do with this particular shirt that has the sleeve keepers and the sleeves on there, all that I have to do is roll this shirt down, and then now I've got full sun protection as if I had sunblock on. All right. It's a very lightweight shirt though, and it has on the back side of it, it has mesh and vents. So as a, say if I'm on a boat or if I'm moving motorcycle or even just walking around living life, the wind's blowing, that air contact will cool my body because it's making it cooler. It's got some cool details like Hawaiian accents that we put on there, but that's not a performance thing. That's more of a style thing. So what you want to look for is you want to look for air vents. You want to look for making your life easier with having access to good pockets, very sturdy material, sun blocking. If you're going to be working in a hot environment, you want that really lightweight, high quality synthetic fiber. We've kind of pioneered at Bone Tactical printing on synthetic fibers. A lot of companies are still not able to print on synthetic fibers, but we've got some really cool prints that we're able to print on 100% synthetic fibers, which that's really cool. Then now let's talk about going into what we call the extreme environments. Now, extreme environments on the other end of the spectrum. This is extreme hot, extreme sun. All right, we talked about that. You want polyester, lightweight material, light colors, okay? All of these features here that you're seeing in this shirt, but something that doesn't really stand out, something that you can be in the city and in the urban. I'm in an urban environment right now, but as soon as I head into the woods, now I'm going to be able to use the same shirt as camouflage, but I could even be in a business meeting with this shirt on. So pretty great opportunity to have performance clothing, right? That's what we want our clothing to perform with us or outperform us. In this case, it's most likely going to outperform you. The extreme duty gear that we're talking about here is super heavy duty, ripstop, and a blend of synthetic fibers and natural fibers. And what that means is just heavy, very heavy, very tough. If I'm walking through heavy shrubbery or brush and there's thorns and things like that, they're less likely to penetrate or not going to penetrate. And then it's ripstop, so it's not going to catch and then rip my shirt off of my body and then allow all the rest of the thorns to cut me up, something like that. It's just it's gonna protect me against things like, this is what the US military uses, this type of material, but it's an improved camo, much better camouflage over what the US military has. This is the Bone Tactical proprietary camouflage colorway. And we go through and we add, Hawaiian accents on all of them, 100% natural coconut buttons, very tough, but really cool and stylish. We add accents and details of the Hawaiian print. But what you want to look for if you're going to be operating in either a very cold environment or if you're going to be operating in a very extreme environment, like I said, working in a workshop, exposed to sparks, flames, welding, exposed, or in a heavy brush environment where you're going to have things brushing up against your body, or even a combat environment necessarily where you could have shrapnel or things flying through the air, be close to explosions, dirt and debris, then you're probably going to want, depending on where you want to put your balance of comfort, okay? Because if it's very hot, you're probably going to want one of these hot weather environment shirts. But if it's not very hot, or if it's very cold, or if you're encountering those kind of threats, then you're going to want something more protective. And then that's why we have this next level of heavy duty ripstop. So what we have is the two most effective types of materials. You want to look for ripstop, heavy duty, heavy weight like this, and then a blend of synthetic that'll help you retain that body heat in cold weather. But then also once it gets wet, that cotton helps it stay, those fluids, if you're in a really hot environment, kind of help you stay cool down as well. And so it's really fully functional. And then it could be fully closed in like this in a cold environment, but then in a hot environment, it also allows air to pass through. So what you would do, obviously, if you're in a very cold environment, you would wear this as a number 2 layer and then a jacket over it, which makes the wind not pass through. And then you get the full effect of this heavy duty fabric keeping you warm. If you're in a hot environment where, like I said, where you're working, welding, or you're heavy brush, then you can wear this as your outer layer and it will be a protective outer layer. So guys, having good clothing is so much of a benefit. I'll talk really briefly as well about footwear, and I'll talk really briefly about some other accessories of clothing: pants, jeans, footwear. But what we discussed now is our outer layer or shirt, having what we call a combat shirt. These are the Columbia combat shirts, and how important that is and how much easier it will make your life to be able to operate in and not have to think about what you're wearing or not have problems based on your clothes, not have stuff impacting your skin, hurting you, the sun, getting sunburnt, not getting sparks or welding, or not being really cold or not being really hot. It's just so much. A good shirt like this, a good combat shirt, can really just help you make your life that much better. So guys, one final thing I want to say about the clothing, and as I discuss bringing in some of these other items here that are so important items of clothing, one thing that I want to say is there's always a balance between performance material, okay, which is basically heavy duty, hardcore, not going to last a long time, not going to fall apart, and then freedom of movement and athleticism. So the cut of these shirts is really important, and then your freedom of movement also versus having a heavy material. And one place where we really see the importance of that is in boots and shoes. So I'll show you the shoes that I'm wearing right now as well, and I'll give you the contrast between the two different outfits. So we have these two different pairs of shoes, and this is what I am talking about for the athletic range. And these are Asics, and they're very comfortable. I can walk 100 miles in these and not gonna get a bunch of blisters on my feet and be crippled up for the next week, right? So then we discuss the difference though. The difference being that I could have a really tough, hardcore pair of shoes or like old school military boots or something like that. And the problem there would be, yeah, they're tough, yeah, they're durable, but I'm not going to be able to run and jump as effectively. And they're not going to have that freedom of movement. They're not going to be light. They're going to wear me out. They're going to give me blisters. They're going to cause problems. So in this lighter outfit, we want something like that that's more breathable, very light shoes, like Asics. If I want to step it up a notch, I have not yet found a better pair of boots than these Loa boots that are also very athletic. You really want to look for range of motion and everything, because I've done a video on boots where I talk about some boots that have no range of motion. They're very tough, very heavy duty materials, but then you always have that balance between range of motion. So they're light. These are light. I can run, jump, move around in them, and they're going to make my life easier. So what we're discussing today is how performance clothing can make your life easier. And in the way that shoes and boots make your life easier is that now we have materials that are both tough and allow for range of motion. They're light, and it's all that this is all the top of the line stuff, the best in existence in the world right now. Okay, we've got the combat line from Bone Tactical. We've got the Loa boots there. We've got Asics running shoes. We've got, these are Duluth Trading Company fire hose pants, and they're just absolutely crazy tough. Okay, this would be an outfit that I would pair with the Extreme Duty Gear shirt from Columbia, and very similar material. It's not ripstop, but it's made out of fire hose. The downside is it performs just as good as our Columbia line of Extreme Duty Gear. The downside is it's heavier. Okay, so it's heavier. You get the same performance, but it's a little bit heavier. Until I have my combat pants available to the US market, the Duluth Trading right now is going to be the best civilian available combination of both heavy duty durable and very tough, also movable, and just great pants in all regards. They're a little hot for hot weather environments, so I don't recommend them for hot weather environments. For hot weather environments, I'd recommend something like a nice pair of 4-way stretch jeans or some Cry Precision pants, okay? That's what I would recommend for hot weather environments. But if it's something where you're gonna really need heavy protection, I recommend going up to the Duluth fire hose material. From there, we've got belts. Super important that you keep your pants in place and keep your pants up. This system it's a ratcheting system from Core Essentials, K-O-R-E Essentials. You can use code Bone Tactical to get 10% off of their website, coreessentials.com. I'm wearing one of those belts right now. I use their belts. Check them out if you like them. I like them. They're not the best belts in the world, in my opinion, but they're great belts for the price. Okay, so it's always a balance. If you want to, there may be some belts out there that are, you know, $200, $300 belts that are better. But I think those are $30, $40 belts, something like that, maybe less. Check it out. I think you can probably get them for 20 now, maybe. You have to see with the discount code from Bone Tactical. These are Carhartt socks. They're a great pair of socks. Is very important. I often use wool socks or smart wool socks as well. A big proponent of that. Definitely super important to wear a good pair of socks. A tip or trick if you are going to be walking a long way is to wear dress socks under your heavy socks and give yourself a little cushion in there. I always carry in my bug out bag with me, my Bone Tactical bug out bag. You know, we're also known, obviously, Bone Tactical for supplying the world's most effective bug out bags, and all of them come with the blister plasters in case you start getting blisters and you stop and put the blisters on your feet. Okay, blisters are game changers. They'll shut you down. You're not going to want to be able to move, all that kind of stuff. From there, little small things that a lot of people don't think about are force multipliers like this multi-tool. All right, makes life easier. I tell the story all the time. One time I make videos. You guys know I'm making a video right now. I got my camera gear right there. And one time the camera came loose. I was in Italy and the camera came loose in the housing, and I was, you know, going around making videos, didn't have a screwdriver anywhere, and was able to just use this, pop the screwdriver out here, put it in here, and tighten up the camera. It's also a force multiplier. Those of you that know it's just an incredible force multiplier, but it can be worn in your pocket here or here, and something you can carry everywhere you go. It's not too heavy. We've got aluminum versions if you want to be even more high speed, low drag, and it's just a great option that can make your life easier, that you can carry on your person every day. Some further things from that are having this bracelet. It's so light, it's cool, it looks good, that you never know that you have it on. But if I need to access it very quickly, I just pop it off, and then now I have access to a Kevlar cordage system that I can use however needed. And those of you that know, I can't really go into a lot of detail for legal reasons about how devastatingly effective this can be as a force multiplier. But that's kind of the gist of things you can wear on your body that just could make your life easier, or in the case of these two, save your life. We'll continue on to talk about the final thing that I would like to discuss today, and that is the Traveler's Money Belt. All right. This can be worn fully, covers the pelvic region here, can be worn fully under the pants for deep cover, or it can be worn just under the shirt like this for, you know, semi-concealment. But what it does basically is allows me to carry cash or things that you don't want people to know you have, or, you know, it makes you, if I'm traveling and I get robbed, I can just give up whatever's in my pockets and I still have the majority of my cash, my passport, personal documents that are very important. And it's very tough. I can even put a holster on here and carry up to a full-size pistol because it's a heavy-duty nylon belt, but it's a Velcro system, so it's able to pass metal detectors and all that kinds of stuff. People tell me all the time this is not what it's designed for, and please don't. I don't need to know that if you're doing it, but people tell me all the time that they wear these, forget that they have them on, deep cover while traveling, get on an airplane, and people never even know at the airport, even through TSA security. It can pass pat downs, all that kind of stuff. So that's basically all that I wanted to really discuss with you today. And I really just wanted to say thanks for watching, guys. Bone out.